I'm back with some more VR gaming, and this time we're boldly going to a galaxy far, far away. Alright everyone, thanks for pressing play once again. I'm the man they call Pixel Paul, and this is a Pixel Plays PlayStation VR video. So yep, back with another VR video. Not done one for a few weeks, maybe even months actually. Partly because it's actually happened finally. My PSVR did start to gather a very little bit of dust. So yeah, I'd not been playing too many VR games recently. Partly down to AstroBot coming out. I've been playing a lot of AstroBot recently, so the VR has been put to one side just temporarily, but I have now got back into playing one or two VR games. Now, some of the games that I've got to show you this time, in fact probably two of them at least, maybe even three, I played a couple of months back and I'm sort of now revisiting and want to show you a little bit of footage from each of them and just talk about them a little bit. So yeah, 4 games, and we'll get on with the first game now. Game on the list this time around is Vader Immortal, Star Wars. And yeah, I've quite enjoyed this game. Now, it's a bit of a weird one in that it's very short. It's a very short game, this. It's kind of split into 3 chapters as well. And each of those chapters... Well, I mean, the total sort of runtime for this game is probably less than, to be honest, less than 2 hours in a way. So at a full retail price, I think you'd feel pretty shortchanged with this game. But if you can get it for less than sort of £10, which I did, you know, it's worth a look. So yeah, it's split into 3 chapters, and each of the 3 chapters is a little bit different from the other. So the first chapter pretty much concentrates on movement and lightsaber duels. The second chapter is more sort of about using the Force and that sort of thing. And then the third chapter is a bit of a hodgepodge of the two. So, you know, you're using the lightsabers, you're using Stormtrooper blasters, you're using a bit of the Force as well. But it makes for quite a good game. The story's fairly sort of generic. Well, I say it's generic. It's a little bit different from the normal sort of Star Wars. There's almost like a MacGuffin, which Vader's chasing. He wants your help. And you know, the story revolves around that essentially, and it all takes place on the Mustafar planet. So it's a nice looking game, but yeah, it's just very, very short. Now, I've taken a little bit of footage. For some reason, my PlayStation 5, which I play it through, has stopped letting me record full sort of videos via the console. I don't know why, but I've managed to take sort of 30-second video clips of it. So we'll have a quick look at a few sort of video clips of the game in action.
Start? Oh, hold on. That wasn't the deal. No.
Circumstances have changed.
No.
Destiny has bound us together now, and our future is in your hands. Fate has chosen you.
Oh, great. Thanks for stopping by. Because you know what I wanted? I wanted a lot of fate. I thought that would be fun, you know, some future. Oh.
Protect the prisoner.
That was Vader Immortal, and overall, yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the brief time that I got to play this game. It almost feels a bit like some sort of tech demo for a bigger Star Wars VR game. I don't know whereabouts this came out in sort of like the VR schedule, you know, when a PSVR originally came out, possibly quite early on, because it does feel like a bit of a sort of tech demo for sort of future Star Wars games in VR. And it does that job quite well. As long as you think of it almost like a tech demo, this is not a game that you're going to spend hours and hours on. Like I said, I think total playtime was about 2 hours, maybe even less than that. But I did enjoy it. And yeah, there's some really quite decent ideas in here. The actual sort of lightsaber control feels really fluid. You don't do a great deal with it. There's a lot of blocking and then swiping around at people. It feels almost like playing a Star Wars game on the Wii almost. So it's not the most sort of technical kind of game, but what is there is quite good and quite fun. But yeah, it's not that in depth, and it does kind of just make you wish that there was just a little bit more of it, or maybe there'd been some sort of further sequel or, you know, downloadable content for it perhaps. But yeah, overall, I did enjoy Vader Immortal. Just wanted more of it in a way. So, but if you can get it for like that less than sort of £10 mark, I would recommend it. I think it's a decent sort of little show-off game for PSVR. And yeah, did quite enjoy it. Next up, the next PSVR game. And again, I got this one really cheap. I think I picked this up in Games 50% off pre-owned sale months and months back. I think I got this less than £5. So because it was that price, that's why I sort of picked it up. But I didn't really imagine me really sort of liking this game necessarily, but I did want to try it. So the game is Star Trek Bridge Crew. And yeah, this game has surprised me actually. I've actually quite enjoyed what I've played of this so far. So essentially you are sitting in the captain's chair, barking out orders, well, not barking out orders, but sort of giving orders to 3 other sort of members on the bridge of a starship. I can't remember the name of the starship that you're on, it's like generic name, but you have like an ensign, you have a lieutenant, and you have an engineer, and each of them do different functions on the ship. You sit in the chair, you have different menus pop up in front of you, and when you first sort of start to play it and you play through like the tutorial, it feels a little bit overwhelming. There's a lot going on and you sort of start to think, gosh, this is feeling like hard work. But when you get into it and it eases you in with the first few missions, it actually starts to get quite sort of simple. And once you know who does what buttons do what, and you know what to do and when and how to sort of navigate the map, it actually starts to get quite fun. Now, how long that fun sort of lasts, I'm not quite sure, because I haven't gone massively into this game yet, maybe an hour or so. But so far, what I've played of it, I've quite enjoyed.
Aye, Captain.
Diverting power for impulse.
Making ready for impulse. Course plotted. Aye.
Now, it is based more on sort of Star Trek from the more recent, like Chris Pine remakes, not remakes, sort of reboot series of films for Star Trek. So it's more based on that kind of timeline. But yeah, I mean, I'm not the world's biggest Star Trek fan. I am more of a Star Wars person. But I did enjoy, or have enjoyed, playing this so far. And yeah, if you are a Star Trek fan, I think you will probably get more of a kick out of this than other people. And certainly if you can pick it up relatively cheap, I'm not sure how much this is going for in sort of CEX at the moment, but again, if you can get it for less than sort of £7 or £8, it's probably worth a pick up and worth a go. And yeah, I think you'll probably quite enjoy it. Right, next up is, I was going to say Halloween game, a horror game. It is Halloween month, it's October, but it's, yeah, this is a horror game, not a Halloween game. And it's actually a game or game series that is sort of back in people's consciousness at the moment, because the game, or the original game, got a re-release on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. I think it was a Series X as well, I'm assuming it was. And that game is Until Dawn, and the VR game that I've been playing is Until Dawn Rush of Blood. So having not really played Until Dawn, I don't really know how much it kind of links in with the rest of the series. But essentially what this game is an on-rails horror shooter, and it's a pretty good one actually. It's full of jump scares, full of really unsettling, weird kind of scenes, and yeah, it's essentially, like I say, sort of an on-rails shooter. You sit in like a fun fair, like carriage ride type thing, and you basically go through each level in this carriage, just shooting everything you can see. And it's quite good fun. There's not a huge amount to it. It's, if you see it, you shoot it, and that's pretty much it. So that was a little bit of a look at Until Dawn Rush of Blood. And like I was saying before, you know, it's just an on-rail shooter, not a huge amount to it, but it is a lot of fun. My only sort of slight gripes with it are, for some reason, and I don't know why it keeps happening, and it may have been caught in the footage that I shown then, is that the menu screen seems to pop up quite often, which is a little bit annoying and kind of drags you out of the game a little bit. And I've not worked out why it keeps doing that. I must be doing something or looking somewhere that just keeps bringing the screen up, but that does kind of break the sort of momentum of the game a little bit. But that's just, it's probably a minor thing. It's probably something that I'm doing wrong. But other than that, yeah, I'm quite enjoying Until Dawn Rush of Blood. Again, I should have done some prep and done some research on it, but I don't know how much this is going for at the moment in CEX. Again, I got this relatively cheap, and yeah, so far I've put maybe an hour or so into it. I don't know how many levels there are overall, but so far I think I've played through the first 3 or 4. I want to say 4. And just quite enjoying it. Again, just like any of these VR games, you can just literally just stick the headset on, put a game like this in, and just spend however long you want to spend on it. They're not games that you do spend a huge amount of time on. It's just kind of a pick up and play, and I think that's why I quite like the VR games now. It's just, you know, you pick them up, you play it, and you don't have to sit there for hours and hours. I think the only one really where I've sunk a lot of time in is a game I'm going to show you next, and also Blood and Truth, which I'm still playing through. But yeah, I like these sort of games in VR that I just sort of pick up, play it for 10 minutes, play it for half an hour, and then go back to it in 2 weeks. You can just pick up where you left off and just go straight back into it. It's just sort of the simplicity of these games that I'm quite enjoying at the moment. Having said that, Star Trek is probably a game that if I don't play it again for a month or so, I will have completely forgotten everything you were supposed to do and how to do it. But anyway, yeah, games like this, though, quite enjoying it. Good one for Halloween month, though, I think, this one. Until Dawn, Rush of Blood. Right, so the last game I'm going to show you a little bit of footage from is actually a game that I've shown on this series already. I think it was actually the first game I showed on this series. I will put a link to the rest of the videos at the end of this video. But yeah, I did feature this game. And I just thought, you know what, he's on everybody's mind at the moment for PlayStation 5 owners anyway, you know, with his sort of big first main game. So I thought I'll show you another little bit more of AstroBot Rescue Mission, just because it's such a good game. I mean, the new AstroBot is fantastic. It's an amazing game, but I still think AstroBot Rescue Mission in VR is just an incredible game. It's so clever, so much fun. And it's just like the new AstroBot game, but you are in there with him, and it's just an amazing game to play. So let's have another quick look. I think this is the second or third level in the first world of AstroBot Rescue Mission. So that was another little bit of AstroBot Rescue Mission. Again, I've thoroughly enjoyed for PSVR, and if you have got it or you're thinking of getting PSVR, I would say AstroBot Rescue Mission is the first game you should pick up, because it is fantastic. Even now, it's still great to play and well worth picking up. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Another look through some PSVR games. I've still got plenty more to go through. They're all on my top shelf up there. I don't think you can quite see them, but I've still got plenty more VR games to get through as well. So there'll be more of these videos on the way. So I hope you are enjoying them. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, if you can hit that subscription button, that would be great. And I will see you next time.